Jai Siya Ram, Radhe Radhe. Namaskar, friends. Welcome to this English edition and a special show for our English-speaking viewers of Bharat Vichar. I am your host and host. My name is Sumit. So we take the name of Lord Sri Ganesha and bring you the show. With his blessings, the topic is going to be the Trump shock moves. Trump has been taking a lot of crazy moves, lots of ups and downs, lot of topsy-turvy. What are those and what do we get from there? And now, Naval Secretary was fired of America. What does it mean? What are the implications? Three tankers or two to three tankers of Iran were sealed. Especially two tankers were seized in the international waters. EU sanctions Russian banks. Ukraine gets a $20 billion loan. I don't know where the money has come from. And Pak kind of suggests the talks have failed. This is just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of things. Lebanese are threatening that the ceasefire will go. Hezbollah is getting activated. Iran has threatened Mustafa Khamenei. Israel has threatened Mustafa Khamenei. And there's a lot more which is happening here. And there's a lot of things which we are going to talk about. So what I request you when we begin the show is to kindly like our program, which is very, very important. Kindly subscribe to all our channels. You have programs coming at various intervals. You can see programs on Bharat Vichar with the timing, programs on Bharat Vichar plus with the timings. And you can see the programs on Unfiltered, which is our clip channel. And you know what is the thoughts of Bharat Vichar? Truth over TRP, vision over views. No compromise on Desh and Dharma. That is the thoughts we work on. And if you want to support our initiatives, you have the options of PayPal, PAYTM, and QR code is with you. Let's do the Sri Ganesha. Look, the world is getting complex. The things are getting crazy. Trump is losing kind of sense of balance. Things are not as hunky-dory as we would want them to be in ideal time. So what do we know? First of all, Trump has been all over the place. Trump is talking of scaling up the war. Trump is talking of talking to Pakistan. Pakistan is not ready. Pakistan is saying, look, we can't promise anything. Iranis are saying we won't even go for the next level of talks to, Pakistan. And on the top of that, now the Israelis have warned Mustafa Khamenei that till the time Mustafa is not eliminated or till the time there is not any member of the Khamenei clan is living, there can be no peace in Iran. So in a way, they're saying we're all locked and loaded. We know where our targets are going to go in. As soon as the Americans give us a green light, we are going to go in. We're going to go in. So things getting complicated. Now, if you want me to summarize for you in this special English show, what all happened in the day? The first and the most important thing is, look, Iranis said we never went to Pakistan and we never had this mandate of talking about the nuclear stuff. We were tricked by Pakistan, which told us to talk about the nuclear stuff. Nuclear stuff was out of the bounds. So all the meetings which happened vis-a-vis nuclear were not supposed to have happened. We're not supposed to have happened. So it's not something which we'll be doing. That is what the Iranis are saying. Now, Iranis are saying that, nuclear is out of bounds. We are not going to get into a discussion, and there is no way we are going to talk anything to do with nuclear. And the Americans are saying if there is no nuclear on the card, there is nothing we have to talk. Nuclear is the first thing we talk. Uranium is the first thing we talk. Okay, he says, we are not going to talk to you. We are not going to meet with you. Now, if you look at the Iranis, there is a clear division between the politicians and the IRGC plus the army. Politicians want some kind of a solution, but as the IRGC and army is interested in none, say we are not interested in anything. So there's a very clear division there, and the divisions are quite a bit tough. And if you ask me, Sumit, can they be mitigated? The answer is I don't see them. They're really getting mitigated. And by, when I'm recording this show, by this time, Mohammad Gilafaf, the speaker of the Iranian parliament, the hardline political leader, has been shunted out by IRGC. That is what the reports were getting. Trump's rhetoric is increasing. Now, with all those things happening, Iran's stated position is we don't recognize the ceasefire. Americans are not going to lift the blockade. Because why Americans are not going to lift the blockade? Because blockade is delivering the goods for America in a fantastic way. Now you'll ask me how. Look, Americans have been trying to put sanctions on Iran for the last 40 years. Still, Iran is able to develop ballistic missiles, build a navy, manage things here, and they're still surviving in a mode. Now, what is the blockade doing? Blockade is costing Iran approximately somewhere around 450 to 500 million dollars a day. So if I look at a month, it is around 14 to 15 billion dollars a month. How much is the budget, or how much is the budget that Iran allocates for running its government and all the expenses? It's $56 billion. Imagine if the government's budget is $56 billion and your blockade continues. Within 4 months, your revenue estimates for the year are going to be zero. That is going to be a catastrophe for you. That is what Trump was saying yesterday. Okay, I have no problem, let the blockade carry on. I have no problem in giving ceasefire any date, let it be unintendedly open or intendedly open. But for the blockade, I'm sure till the time the Iranis don't come up with a proposal, the blockade is going to be there. And for Iranis, if we come up with the proposal, we have already conceived defeat. We don't want to come up with a proposal. We don't want to conceive defeat. So, but do we want, can Iranis come up with a proposal? There are a lot of Truth Social posts by Trump when he's saying it's a fractured mandate, there's a fractured government, there are various people, it's a leaderless country, there is nobody's at the helm of the affairs. So in a way, Trump is not also sure will he really get a proposal, but he's trying to put the pressure. Trump's pressure seems to be working on the economy. Trump's pressure seems to be working on the political class. As we know, Mohammad Ghalibaf is possibly shunted out by IRGC because he was the guru of Masood Pezeshkian, and both of them have been some way indicating, let's do the talk. Okay, we can do the tough talking, but let's do the talking. Well, IRGC says no. Let's do the ultimate fight. Let's get prepared for the fighting. That is where the position is. So things going crazy. Things are haywire. When you talk of fighting, what is happening on the fighting front? Israel, you have maximum number of planes landing in last 72 hours. They're coming with the big cargo hauls full with ammos. Americans are moving more and more ammo to Middle East like crazy. More and more troops are being moved. Moved in. Israelis are moving ammo. When I talk of Iran, Iran is believed to have approximately 50% of the ammo intact. Basically the ammo was reduced to around 30% levels. But in last few days, they've been able to build some, they've been able to repair some, they've been able to get around with the some. Now they have 50% of the ammo which is available with them. So Iran with 50% of the ammo, and the Americans are all armed up to teeth, armed up to tooth. So that is where the Americans stand. And if you look at what the general was saying, what we discussed yesterday, is that our air firepower is double than what it was possibly a couple of what it was when we started the war. And it is, and America is prepared for a long war. Now, what General Zamir said, General Zamir, the head of the Israeli Defense Force, he said, look, we are prepared for a long war. Mr. Israel Katz, the defense minister of Israel, has said, guys, we are all set. We are all locked and loaded. We are just waiting for the Americans to give us approval. And when Americans give us approval, we are going to go for the kill. He's saying that unless and until Mustafa Khamenei is there, and anybody from the Khamenei clan is there, the dark ages of the Iran will not end. So in a way, it's a very direct threat to Mr. Khamenei that you will be eliminated. We are looking for you. And there is also a talk which is going on within the Israeli military establishment. That is, look, there are two groups here. There's a group of people who want some kind of a talk. Okay, let's talk. Let's figure it out. And there's another group of people who say, we don't want to talk. Let them go to hell. What the Israelis are saying, the group who is not interested in talking, let them be taken out. Let them be out of gear. You know what I mean? So the people who are interested in talking can still talk. The people who are not interested in talking, let them be taken out. So the war is going to be deadly. As the general said, that the Americans, if the meeting would have happened in Pakistan, they would have told them, look, you are going to be targeted personally. And there are a lot of people in America who talk Pakistan out of all the world. Pakistan is literally a hellhole. And there's a couple of things we're going to talk about hellhole as well. So that is the position of ammos. The things are there. Things are getting here. Let's talk about the region. Hezbollah is being coached by Iran to break the ceasefire. Hezbollah is doing everything, releasing videos, doing pretty much everything in the ceasefire to show that we are going to hit Israel. What does the Iran want? Iran wants Israel to go and hit Hezbollah, and then they say, okay, the talks are on. Where the talks are happening? Talks are happening when Joseph Ayoum is going to travel to America, I think in a couple of days, tomorrow, today, just a few days from now. He will be in Washington. He will be meeting Bibi Netanyahu. And with Trump, they're trying to settle something. While as Joseph Ayoum has said, it will be ideal if Israel can leave my occupied territories. While as the Prime Minister Najaf has said, well, the talks are not possible if Israel doesn't leave the territory. And Israelis are very sure we are not going to leave the territory. Now, what do the Israelis say? Israelis have already given a SOS that the ceasefire is very fragile. It can break anytime. Now, from Hamas, let's move to Hezbollah. While as Iran clearly says Hezbollah fights for IRGC, they are a part of the resistance. So any discussion which you want to have with Hezbollah should be with Iran, not between Israelis and Lebanese. Then nobody in the game. That is what Hezbollah and the IRGC thinks. Now let's come here to Hamas. Now Hamas is also throwing all the tantrums, and Trump has told them, look, if you don't behave, we are going to bomb you to hell. We are going to burn you to hell. Will Hamas behave? Will Hamas surrender? We don't know. Things look tough. They are not going to surrender. Now, while all these things are happening, now 2 or 3 couple of developments. The Naval Secretary gets fired. The Naval Secretary is like a deputy minister, like a MOS within the American government. The things are, there's some discontent, or there's some disagreements between him and Pete Hexer, and in turn the President Trump. So they've axed the man. Or a lot of people believe that there were some things which the American Navy was reluctant to do because of the man. Though it's not, they don't have the firepower, because the man was reluctant to do. He thought it's too risky, or we should not be doing it. So a lot of things were not done because the man thought so. Now the man is gone, and when you are running one of the biggest blockades in the world, so things get a bit crazy here, things get a bit out of control here. Why do you need to shunt out your top Navy man when you are literally running the biggest blockade of the millennia? But that's America. So they'll have somebody in place. So that kind of raises a bit of heat there. Now, what we see that we know that yesterday Iranis had literally kidnapped 2 of the tankers, right? 2 of the container ships, rather, I should say. And now there are fake videos coming where IRGC is trying. Now, look, the container ship is parked here. Now, there's a boat which comes, and the people are climbing it. They're wearing those masks and all. Now, they are trying to show that how IRGC captured the ship. But literally, the ship was captured not by that. They are doing this video or the photography on a ship which is already captured. Now, what has been the essence of IRGC? 2 sides of the equation here. IRGC, then we talk about Americans. Now, IRGC is acting as a group of pirates. They come in those speedboats. They encircle the ship. They try to board the ship, put a gun on the head of the captain and say, look, this is how it is going to be, and you have to listen to me. So Americans accuse IRGC, you are not a militia, you are not a military, you are a pirates. This is what the Americans say to the IRGC. Now, what have Americans done? Now, the Donald Trump went ahead. I was always contemplating and asking why Americans are not taking out those speedboats. There may be maybe 100, 200 of them. For 8 and Thunders, it's very easy to go and take those boats out. America has the power. Why America is still hesitating to take the boats out? Now, Trump has issued order that Strait of Hormuz is fully closed, and anybody who tries to get on a speedboat or anything that is moving must be hit. So I'm glad that these speedboats are finally targeted and will be targeted if they try to capture the ships. In the meanwhile, I've been talking to you. There are around 20 to 25 tankers which have passed through Strait of Hormuz. I've been talking to you. Iran is selling its oil, and I have been talking to you. Americans have been telling a lot, but not doing much. Now, what happened is Americans intercepted 2 Iranian tankers in the Indian Ocean in the international waters. So now America has taken the game beyond the Strait of Hormuz. They are going to the international waters, where they are intercepting or capturing or have confiscated 2 more tankers. Some people claim there are 3, but to the best of my knowledge, there are 2 tankers. They were Iranian tankers. They were confiscated. And IRGC, again, no reply, nothing do. Naval Secretary gone, so boats will be shot. And in the meanwhile, Americans go and capture the tankers. That is how it is happening there. Now, when this all drama is going, that in the meanwhile, Americans claim that they have returned 33 of the vessels. 33 of the vessels, who tried to reach Iran, they've been sent back. The regime is under pressure. The economy is shrinking by $500 million a day. And the country which doesn't have a foreign exchange reserve, it is going to be tough. So what is happening here? Now, if we go to the second part of the hit, things are getting a bit crazy because Americans have a plan. Israel is trigger happy. IRGC wants to fight till the end, and they're already talking of a surprise weapon. So in the meanwhile, ceasefires in Gaza, shaky ceasefires in Lebanon shaky. Hezbollah is trying to provoke them to the best of their capacity, right? And Pezeshkian comes and says, look, there are going to be no talks. We are not going to talk to Americans till the time the blockade is lifted. The latest IFIU is the latest, every with a few hours it keeps on changing. Latest is Israel. Americans are interested to talk. Trump talked of a discussion on Thursday. When the Thursday is not happening, he talked of Sunday. But so far, no signs of any way whatsoever, even if the discussions are remotely possible in Pakistan on Sunday. Because what Iranis told us last, what we know from Iranis last, is that we possibly will not be going for any discussion with the Americans anywhere. And even if we go for a discussion, the uranium is out of the bond. So that is basically a no-go when we want to kind of start the discussions with. Basically, what we understand, Pakistan played games with Iran. Pakistan played games with America. I think that Trump lost face and he lost a lot of credibility, courtesy Asim Munir and Field Marshal, because they assured him Iran is ready for everything. Trump got excited. He went to Truth Social. He started, oh, this is done, uranium done, proxies done, this, and now I want this, I want this, I want this. And remember, friends, there was this $20 billion which was supposed to go to IRGC. Trump became ambitious. He says, I'm not giving you the money. Then suddenly, Mullah Munir loses the face. When he loses the face, he wants to control the rhetoric. How do you control the rhetoric? You control the rhetoric by now befooling Americans into a negotiation, which possibly will not happen. Now, Americans realize that Pakistan has been playing games with them. Pakistan is the one because of whom they have got into a lot of trouble. But, America being America, they can't accept that they have been befooled by Pakistanis. So they will kind of, this is all that and all. And with it, Trump is losing hope on NATO. Trump says, NATO is not there for us when we need them. Hezbollah says, my ceasefire is, I am not guaranteeing ceasefire anymore. In a way, I'm withdrawing from ceasefire. But rather than using the word withdrawing, they say, I'm not guaranteeing the ceasefire anymore. Meanwhile, things are heating up in Russia. I think there was a Russian refinery, one more in Kosovo. The Ukrainians hit it. Zelensky has become the salesman of the world. Zelensky is saying, I can send ships to it in the open Strait of Hormuz. And Zelensky's anti-drone tech is somewhat in demand. That is at least what I can make out. It is somewhat in demand. People seem to be kind of interested in its anti-drone tech, to be precise. Anti-drone tech, to be precise. Pezeshkian has taken his position, Lebanon on the brim, and now come the Europeans. Europeans are saying whatever happened between Lebanon and Gaza, we are responsible. Now, the tricky part is they were not even a part of discussion, but say it's because of us the ceasefire happened. We are the peacemakers. Well, to best of my knowledge, what I remember, the Israeli ambassador to US was asked about this. He said, we don't want even French to come near to it. And when the world is burning and Europe is running out of the jet fuel, Mr. Macron seems to be obsessed about Lebanon and Gaza. And if you are not going to believe me what I'm going to tell you, there were unfortunately two French soldiers lost their life in Lebanon. God rest their soul in peace, RIP. And it was because of a Hezbollah attack. Now, what Macron is saying, that he's going to impose sanctions on Israel, not on Hezbollah. Two French soldiers got killed by Hezbollah in Lebanon. And what Mr. Macron is saying, is going to impose sanctions on Israel, not on Hezbollah or Hamas or Iran. And his foreign minister is saying we are going to do it pretty much soon. And if the things were not hitting for the worst, Russians attacking this Kosovo refinery Ukraine is attacking the Kosovo refinery of Russia. Now, Ms. Kaja Kallas, the head of European Union, comes and says, we are giving a 90 billion euro loan to Zelensky. And she makes fun, Russian economy is sinking. Zelensky is getting money from us. Now, the question is, where does the money come from? Europe doesn't have that kind of money. So is it that the money is taken out from those $270 billion of confiscated money, which is lying of Russians in Brussels? If that is happening, that's a big, big problem, because Putin is not going to take that line easily. Because if you take out his money and give it to Ukraine, and then you ask Ukraine to run the show and buy weapons and to kill Russians, well, Putin is not going to like it. to add, fuel to the fire. Now the Europeans say that there are 20 Russian banks which we have kind of sanctioned. They can't be doing business. They have been sanctioned. So if the money is taken out from the Russian kitty, then 20 more banks get sanctioned. And the Pakistan is saying, look, if you want a negotiation to happen, everybody has to come down their, horse. They have to be, they have to be at a realistic plane. And the meanwhile, let me take you to the Trump's remarks. Trump made very ugly, very sarcastic, very racist remarks, which are not acceptable. Even I have tweeted on that and I tagged Mr. Trump in it, wherein he said about this, hellhole. He referred to India as hellhole. And his remarks were atrocious, racial, and unwarranted form. Now, later on, the things started cooling up. I was very furious. I was shouting, but I get emotional when my country or when my dharma is questioned. That is, you can perceive it as something which is I get a bit emotional about, but that's the reality. Finally, Mr. Jaiswal of the MEA said, we have read the remarks and we leave it at there. I thought, okay, that's not a good way to end the fiasco. Then the American spokesperson of the embassy said he issued the full copy of the letter. He said, look, here, Mr. Trump, right, India is my friend and I'm like Indian people, something like that. And in some other context, he's trying to say this. The context is not against India, against the Indians. The context slightly changes. Now, Mr. Jaiswal put in an, they did put in a note. I'm going to show you that note. He said, oh, look, this is not acceptable, buddy. We're not happy with it. Here, the note is for you. Basically, these are all unwarranted for. This is not something which we expect to do. This is not what should be done in the relation. This is something which is pretty bad and should have not happened. I'm going to show you that letter also, those 4 letters, wherein, the things are in black and white, wherein, yes, the hellhole part is there, but the other parts are also there. So I'm not trying to draw anyone, neither I'm trying to support anybody, but I'm trying to give you an update what happened. So this is the update on that much. Then things escalate further because Trump is not cutting ice. Pakistanis have already warned Iran that you don't have a lot of time. Trump can get, Trump is Trump. And here, what we know in the meanwhile, when these things are being talked about, there are some updates which are coming out of Mujtaba Khamenei. Mujtaba Khamenei has a prosthetic leg, possibly. One leg is gone. The whole face is burnt. He's going through multiple surgeries. These lips are completely gone. They're trying to create his lips. And there's other, burn marks and injuries all over the body. And he has gone through 3 major surgeries. He's in a bunker, guarded, when the doctors and all are there. And IRGC is guarding the bunker when they're fearing that the attack might happen. And there was a talk that Mr. Masood Pezeshkian is also one of his doctors, which was later reverted. No, Pezeshkian is not his doctor. And, he's kind of not allowed to go into that. So French become peacemakers without going to the talks or being parts of the talk. And Pezeshkian, being a doctor, is not allowed to attend a patient called Mujtaba Khamenei. Well, that is how the things happen. And unfortunately, we had an incident wherein there was a fire in a factory in Gujarat. I think 16 or 17 of our guys have been injured. Some of them are critical. I hope and pray the things kind of don't escalate. God is being merciful to us and things are under control. They recover fast. So far, we don't have any news of any casualties. But why did I bring this up here? Because, a couple of days back, there was a fire in a refinery which Modi ji was supposed to know. Then a couple of days back, suddenly there's one more fire in a chemical plant in Gujarat. Now, how come these fires are happening so randomly, so frequently? Is there a pattern? Is there something which we don't know? Is there something which is worrying? Is there something, we kind of don't know? I mean, so drones over April, drones over Tehran, jets in the sky in Israel, those bridges of supplies, multiple cargo planes landing in Israel, things escalating. Everybody here is preparing for war. Look a scenario that Israel is preparing for war, America is preparing for war, and even Iran is preparing for war. I have a scenario where everybody I know is preparing for war. And I don't know there, and here we have a situation where there is no leader, supreme leader, or he's incapacitated. The people who are taking on the decision on his behalf, and the only negotiator called Pakistan has already said Tata bye bye. I cannot get it done. So what is going to happen when the bombs are going to start? And Trump has already said that we are going to start bombing pretty soon if the things don't work out. Now these blockades, these ships being hijacked, ships being rather kidnapped, or accusing each other of pirates, and those groups of people who don't agree will be eliminated. Sanctioning the banks, Mustafa's health, drones, rockets, missiles, parading of the military bravado, showing your military bravado, parading your weapons, and Americans, in a way, playing the game coolly and smartly. What they are doing, they're systematically destroying Iran's economy, and unfortunately, the Middle East economy is also getting, destroyed in the meanwhile. That is the flip side of it. The Middle Eastern economies are also getting destroyed. So, if we do a sum total, where we started, where we ended, except this hellhole and the clarification, 2 tankers, I think we are going more and more and more closer to the war. We are heading more and more closer to the situation where nobody controls things. We are looking forward to armed conflict, and this time Iran is going to fight to the last man. They will literally fight to the last man. That is what they want to do. And what do I say? And I've already explained to you why blockade is delivering better goods than the sanctions could not deliver in 40 years. So pretty much the whole region is unstable, pretty much leaderless Iran. IRGC calling the shots, Mustafa out of the gear. Iran should not fight, but willing to fight, believing in those concepts of shahadat and mujahid and all that. So Trump running out of patience, Trump running out of time, and his only beautiful buddy, failed field marshal, failed again. So that is what is the sum total of the events, what is happening. So friends, what I would want to end my thoughts here. What I want, really will appreciate if you can really like our video, subscribe to all the channels. You know what is happening, what time all programs are coming. I'm proud to announce you the ethos of Bharat Vichar. And if you want to support our initiatives of Desh and Dharma, here are the things. Now, friends, I have to play 2 videos. One is of Sumit Peer Advisory, one is of Sumit Peer Collections. And here we go.
नमस्कार मित्रों, मैं आपके सामने लाया हूं सुमित पीर एडवाइजरी, जो एक यूनिक इनिशिएटिव है जिसमें आपकी लाइफ, बिजनेस, पर्सनल, प्रोफेशनल कोई भी समस्या हो जिसका हम मिलके समाधान ढूंढेंगे। आप जूम के माध्यम से जुड़ेंगे, आप दुनिया में कहीं पे भी हो, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता। ये 100% प्राइवेट कॉन्फिडेंशियल है, इंडिविजुअल्स के लिए है, कॉर्पोरेट्स के लिए है, और प्रैक्टिकल अप्रोच टू वेरी कॉम्प्लेक्स प्रॉब्लम्स। इफ एनी काइंड ऑफ टाइप, इमिग्रेशन हो, फाइनेंसेस हो, कैरियर हो, लाइफ हो, बिजनेस हो, कुछ भी हो, तो आपसे निवेदन है कि आप इस इनिशिएटिव का लाभ उठाइए और हमसे जुड़िए sumitpeer.com के माध्यम से। ईमेल आईडी है sumitpeerofficial@gmail.com, और sumitpeer.com पे जाएंगे तो आपको ईमेल आईडी, आपको व्हाट्सएप नंबर सब मिलेगा। आप हमसे जुड़िए और मेरी टीम आपसे संपर्क में रहेगी, और इसको हमारा पूरा प्रयास रहेगा कि इसको हम एक सार्थक और एक बहुत फ्रूटफुल एंड की तरफ बहुत जल्दी ले जाए। नमस्कार, प्रणाम, साधुवाद।
Now let's look at the Sumit Peer collections, and we are shipping across the world. If you are anywhere in the world. Shivoham, 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 Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. Shivoham, 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 Shivoham. Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham.
शिवोऽहं 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 चित्
Thank you very much. It's always lovely meeting you, talking to you. And on the public demand, I started this English show wherein you could get a capsule of as to what happened, what are the developments, what are the outcomes, where it's likely going to do. We are going to catch up and deliver this to you. So in the morning when you're getting ready for your work and office, while driving to office and all, you can get a complete summary of as to what pretty much everything happened in your drive while having your breakfast, or while you are in a metro or in a bus, wherever you are, will get that complete gist of what happened. And to all the friends from Russia, from Israel and all who have been demanding this, I did what I could do. Thank you very much. I would like to take your leave, and always Bharat Mata ki jai, Vande Matram, Om Namah Parvati Padaya, Har 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 Mahadev.